Hey everybody, it's the old naked man here. How's everybody doing today? Have you ever fallen asleep while you're driving? Did you ever get stopped or pulled over because you were asleep at the wheel? Uh, do you want to hear a couple stories about my experience and what happened when I fell asleep? Yeah, first off, I got a couple of them. They're kind of farm related, um, but then there's one where it was just when I was traveling. And it's totally unexpected. Anyway, that's when I got pulled over by the cops. So I'll tell you that a little bit later in the video. So anyway, the first time I ever fell asleep when I was driving, I was working on a farm, and I worked for this fella. And one day he came out the field, asked me if I wanted to go water skiing, and I said no. I'm gonna just stay here and plant the last crop of wheat that we had to go in. And so him and his wife and everybody went to the lake, and I got a call later that night that he got caught in an undertow and drowned that day. So I carried on with his farm, trying to get his crops off and everything for him. So one day, beautiful day, driving across the field. It's pretty warm out there, and so all of a sudden the combine stops. And I looked down at the gauges, and they're totally wacky, right out of the shape. So I knew something drastic was wrong. And so I jumped down out of the cab, and the engine compartment on this combine was like a screen. So it had little holes in it so you could let the air in to cool the engine down. So as soon as I jumped down, I could see flames coming from around the engine. So I went over and hollered at the truck driver and told him to bring a bucket of water, and then I proceeded to pull the screen off the side of the engine. Well, as soon as I got it off, I knew a bucket of water wasn't going to do, so I hollered at the truck driver. I said, forget the bucket of water, go call the fire department. So he went up to a neighbor's place and called the fire department. So they got out there, and what had happened is you got 45 gallons of gas sitting up on top of the combine right behind the cab, and then its gravity fed down to the carburetor on the engine. Well, there's a rubber connection between the engine and the gas tank. So this rubber connection, I guess, broke off. So you got 45 gallons of gas pouring down on top of the engine. So um, the the fire department shows up. Well, the only thing they could do was spray water on it, and they couldn't put the fire out. As long as the gas kept pouring down there, they weren't going to get out. So we had to get the gas valve turned off at the bottom of the tank. So after we did that, we managed to get the fire out, and the combine was totally ruined. It had melted the pistons right inside the engine. It was that bad. So we ended up borrowing a combine from a neighbor who was already finished. So we got the grain off, and so then fall comes, and we still didn't have a combine that would run. So I was out picking corn. It was getting late in the year. It was snow on the ground. It was pretty chilly, and I'm trying to get the finish before the snow gets any worse. So finally get done, and it's about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. Take the combine back to the neighbor, thank him very much, and then I head for home. I was really exhausted. I'd been working practically day and night to get this crop off, and climbed in my pickup truck and headed home. Well, I didn't get very far down the road, and next thing I know, I'm down in the ditch. Oh, thank goodness the ditches weren't very deep back then. So, kind of get woke up a little bit, get back on the road, driving down the road a little bit further, and didn't go very far, back in the ditch again. Well, thank goodness there wasn't a lot of traffic on the road, and I didn't hit anything. But I ended up in the ditch many times before I got home. Anyway, I finally got home, and I think I slept for the next day and a half, 2 days before I able to function properly. So the next story I want to tell you is just a short story, but it's kind of funny actually. Um, my brothers and I went together. There's two brothers and myself, so there's three of us, and so we're out farming, and I'm out planting a field of corn. Now, with my brothers, we had worked out arrangements that one of us would work every night. Uh, so that means we'd have a 24-hour shift. So with two brothers and myself, that every 3 days, one of us, or at least I should say, I was working. So this carried on for a while, and I'm driving across the field planting corn one day, and I must have fallen asleep. I don't remember, but I did. So everything was going along fine, and I finished planting the field and didn't think nothing of it. So anyway, fall comes, and I'm out picking this field of corn. You wouldn't believe it. About halfway through the field, I must have fallen asleep. And instead of going straight through the field, I ended up going at a bit of an angle and driving over top of some of the rows that I'd already planted. And I guess I woke up when I got to the end of the field, and I carried on planting, going, the same direction that I was when I fell asleep. I didn't have a clue until next fall when I was out picking the corn. And I'm driving along with the corn picker, and all of a sudden I see this area where the rows start coming into the other rows. I thought, holy cow, I must have been totally asleep. But for some reason I woke up when I got to the end of the field. It's a good thing, because if I hadn't, I would have gone down into this ravine and probably killed myself. So anyway, it's pretty funny that I didn't even realize that I'd been asleep. So the next time that I fell asleep really had nothing to do with farming. I've been living in the Calgary area for about, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years. And I decided one day I'm going to go back and visit family back in London, Ontario. So I jump in the car and away I go to Ontario. I had a nice visit with everybody. And so I'm heading home, and I leave London. I don't know, I think it was around 8 o'clock in the morning. So I'm driving along the highway, and I had sandwiches and everything to eat, so I didn't bother stopping other than to get gas and maybe go to the bathroom. So here I am, just outside of Winnipeg. Now, Winnipeg is about a 17-hour drive from London to Winnipeg. So I'm driving along, and I know I'm tired, but I didn't think there was any problem. So all of a sudden I see these red and blue flashing lights behind me, so pull off the road, and this cop, he walks up to my car and taps on the window, and he says to me, he says, so how long have you been driving? He says, oh, I guess I left yesterday around 8 o'clock, and this is like 4:30 in the morning. And he says, we were sitting on the side of the road, and one of the road I pull off, and we seen you coming. And so we had the lights flashing on the car. We were out of the car, standing beside the road with our flashlights and trying to get you to stop. He says, you didn't even see us. I said, oh, yeah, right. So he says, there's a motel. It's about 2 miles down the road. He says, you get your butt down there, get a motel room for the night. And he says, I don't want to catch you on the road again tonight. So I pulled in the parking lot of the motel. I didn't get the room. I just laid back in my seat and went to sleep. So as far as I knew at that time, I was driving fine. But I realize now, looking back at it, I must have been in a trance. I was wide enough awake to keep the vehicle on the road, But if an animal had walked out in front of me, I wouldn't have been able to stop. I wouldn't even have seen it, probably. Or if somebody pulled out in front of me, I wouldn't have seen them either. So it could have been a lot worse. I could have had a head-on collision with somebody. I could have ended up in the ditch. It's hard to say what could have happened, but thank goodness nothing really did. So I feel I was extremely lucky. So anyway, this is just a couple short stories about me falling asleep at the wheel. So how about you guys? I can't be the only one that's ever done something stupid like this. Why don't you send me your stories? Tell me your experience, and if you've ever fallen asleep at the wheel. Love to hear from you. So this is the Naked Old Man wishing you all an awesome day, and I think it's time for me to head out of here. So see you next video. Bye for now.